candidates a couple minutes to introduce themselves once again to the public. And we'll start off with Mr. Ken Usleton.
Thank you, Thomas. First of all, let me express appreciation to the Millington Star and their willingness to bring this moment together, and for the work of Thomas as its editor and others as part of the staff in making all of this possible for you, the citizens, and for Mr. Jones and myself tonight. I also want to thank you, the citizens, for your caring about your community and for your being here and coming out of your interest and your care for the future of our city and what happens within our city. My name is Ken Usleton. I am running for the position of mayor here in your city. I've lived in your community now. This is my 16th year. I had the good fortune and the honor of serving First United Methodist Church for 15 years and now am retired as of back in June and continue to live here in the city by choice, and was looking at other things to do in retirement when many of the citizens of this community came to me and asked me to consider running for the position of mayor. After much thought and prayer, made a decision to do that and have diligently been working since that time to share, learn more, gather and respond to the people of this community, and look forward with you to share it. I'm here tonight not to talk about our past, not to talk about keeping moving forward, but to talk about the recreation of our city so that indeed it becomes a dynamic municipality through an important vision that is intentional, servant leadership, and the ability through the citizenry and those who have been elected officials or employees of this city to recreate it into the future. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to this time with you.
Mr. Terry Jones.
Good evening. Thank you, Thomas, and I also would like to thank you and the Millington Star staff for putting this on tonight. And I'd also like to thank everyone in the audience for taking time out of their busy schedules to show the interest in our community's future. See, I was a little surprised, as Ken and I discussed earlier, with so many people being here, since tonight was a presidential debate also. But that only shows that y'all are as concerned about this as you are about that. But the presidential race that's coming up also is going to be critical to our future. And as Thomas already said, I'm Terry Jones, and I'm glad you're here because that shows that you're concerned. And I'm asking for your vote for support the upcoming mayoral race. 8 years ago, I ran for mayor, and because my friends and neighbors urged me to. And I was humbled and honored by their support, trust, and confidence they had in me and my leadership. Millington and people were looking for a change, and all you have to do is look around Millington today to see the changes that have taken place. It was a privilege for me to serve our community, and now I'm excited to have those same friends and even new friends ask me to run again. It's about trying to prioritize the events and needs and wants of a community this size. The biggest issue really depends on whom you're talking. Personally, I think that the biggest issue right now is building trust with the citizens of this community and taking care of the needs and services of the citizens of our community. Millington is a diamond in the rough, and with the infrastructure improvements that have happened over the past few years, the city is poised for economic growth and development that will bring the industries and businesses to our community to provide the jobs that are needed to secure our future. So we have the second largest runway in the state of Tennessee. We have railroad access. We have I-69 coming, I-269, and now Veterans Parkway to provide easy access to industrial property. The economic development of our community will ensure that the tax base that we need for the services that the citizens deserve, including our schools, providing a minimal tax burden on the property owners. Millington's gone through significant changes in the past year. We cannot afford to dwell on the past, because we cannot change it, but we can look forward to the future and work on a vision to make our city a better place to raise our families, live, work, and worship. As part of the state's 3-star program, Millington leaders came up with a vision in 2010, and it was updated annually until the state replaced the program a few years ago. So I've been involved in work with the city leaders since the late 1990s while still on active duty with the Navy. I helped in the transfer of the excess federal property to the city of Millington, which is now the Millington Municipal Airport, and also the industrial park. I've served as alderman and mayor for this great city, and I believe that it is the experience that Millington needs to move forward. Citizens have voted to change over 70% of our board, and with that, we've lost a great deal of corporate knowledge. We do not have time for on-the-job training in this critical leadership position. I do not need on-the-job training. I need the help and support of the citizens of our community that have felt shut out and felt that they have no voice. Millington needs someone that has maintained the contact with our developers and others that are interested in investing in our community and to follow up on those leads. I am and will remain focused on the future of our city. I want to continue my work for the people of this community as their mayor so that I can continue my goal to make Millington the best community in Shelby County or even in the state of Tennessee. So my roots are firmly planted in Millington, and I am certain that I'm the best candidate to continue Millington into the future. And with your support and your vote, we can keep Millington moving forward.
Thank you, gentlemen. Now we begin our debate tonight. Go over a few of the rules. There's not many of them, but we want to keep each portion of tonight's debate to 10 minutes. And for me to do that, I have a little bell here. When I ring it twice, like this, it means there's 3 minutes left in this portion of the debate. And then when you hear it, it means time is up. And then we'll move on to the next topic. And the order has been predetermined by our staff. And starting off tonight's debate will be Mrs. Terry Jones. And the first topic at hand is annexation. And as we discuss it tonight, I will bring up a few little bullet points, but we have the floor on annexation.
Okay, on the annexation, Kerrville and Lucy, they actually have a unique opportunity that I haven't seen before where they're going to get the vote on whether they want to be annexed by our city. And some of the pros and cons, you ask them, one, do you want to be part of it? Oh, you're just going to raise our taxes, it's going to cost us more money. And, they're going to have an opportunity between now and 2018 to decide on what they want to do. I personally would rather be part of a community like Millington rather than wait to be annexed in by the city of Memphis and become part of them. I think we have much more to offer than the city of Memphis, and that Millington, would be able to move forward. We have the pros, of course. We're going to be able to take their tax dollars for our community. They will lose their fire fees. We still have basically the same protection that they'll have now with the Millington Fire Department and the joint use with the Shelby County Fire Department. Did you want to just continue on or just?
Okay. Well, I don't want to look just at the annexation of Lucy or the annexation of Kerrville. I think if we go back to the ordinance that was voted some years ago, it looked at the reserve areas of all of the municipalities as well as the city of Memphis in reference to Shelby County. And some of that was to remain rural, or in essence green space, and others became reserve areas for the city of, i.e. Millington, Bartlett, Germantown, etc. As you look at annexation, no matter the particular area that you're looking at, I think first of all we need a good, clear understanding of what that ordinance says. I think if you research its history, there was a fear by the municipalities, and rightfully so, that Memphis wanted to consolidate the entirety of the county. And that if there were not marked out reserve areas, that those areas between the city limits and of Memphis and Millington, for instance, would simply just be consumed by Memphis. I think under the leadership of George Harville and other mayors at that time of the municipalities, they moved in an excellent way to create the ordinance that we now live under. But before we begin any annexation, I think it's important for us to always understand just what that ordinance says. It invites the city to, at its time, reach out and bring in areas of its reserve into the city of Millington. I believe that before we do that, we ought to have a plan for our city. And if you look at, and Mr. Jones referred to it a moment ago, the 2010 plan, that was an awesome plan that was put together in the late 80s and early 90s under the leadership of Mayor Harville. As they were beginning to live into that plan, the Navy base made a major decision, and that was to possibly reclose or consider moving in a differing direction. And we know today that they moved in a differing direction. As a result of that, much of the 2010 plan was set aside. Not because there was not the desire to live into it,